26th of May, Rabbi Moore, Parsha Hashavua with Rashi. Beholukosai.
You don't mind taking it?
No, just having just a reading.
Just
putting on a reading. I don't mind if it bothers you. Whatever you want. If it bothers you, don't do it. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's go.
In Beholukosai telechu v'es mitzvosai
If I'm in you on your phone, it keeps ringing.
si sem osam.
Well,
If you will go to statutes and observe my commandments and perform them.
We're up to Beholukosai, last parsha of Sefer Vayikra.
Can you hear me? Hello, Rabbi? Uh-oh.
Okay. Oopsie, sorry, you don't hear me.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Now you can. I forgot to turn on my microphone. In a second. I mean my speaker, Okay. Now you can hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
You can. Yeah, good. Okay, great. Fine.
Okay.
Let's go.
In Beholukosai telechu v'es mitzvosai tishmeru v'asisem osam. If you will go on my statutes, observe my commandments, and perform them.
And perform them. Okay, yeah.
The Rashi says, "In Beholukosai telechu yachol zeh kiyum hamitzvos." One might be able to think that this refers to the fulfillment of the commandments. Vishahu Omer, when it says, Ve'es mitzvosai tishmeru, and observe my commandments. Va'asisem osam, and perform them. Hare kiyum ha mitzvos emor.
More has been stated, has been said.
See that fulfillment of the commandments has been stated. Ha ma ani mikayem. What then do I maintain is meant by im beholukosai telechu, if you will go in my statutes. Shetiyu amelim b'Torah, that you should be laboring in the Torah. The es mitzvosai tishmeru, and observe my commandments. Havu amelim b'Torah, be laboring in the Torah. Almanas lishmor ulakayim, on condition that you will guard and fulfill.
On condition, in order, whereas you should be laboring in Torah, not just merely as a intellectual exercise. Right? It should be in order to guard and keep the mitzvahs.
Oh, Shene'emar, as it says, Ula madatem osam ushmartem la sosam. And you shall study them, and you shall observe them to perform them.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. By the way, 1 second. Yeah. By the way, what's it mean to toil in Torah?
I think that it's amal. Amal is the word that it's translating as toil.
Right.
And I understand that to mean to immerse yourself.
Correct. That's a good word. It means immerse yourself to have that. This is what absorbs your mind. Your mind is absorbed with Torah. It doesn't necessarily meaning having to sweat or to physically expend physical effort in learning. It can as well mean that as well. I'm not that it doesn't exclude that. But the idea of Amel means that it's something which it preoccupies your mind. We find a similar use we had in the Haggadah. Okay, it says in Parshas Kisova that we have the 4 psukim, which the Baal Haggadah expounds in the Haggadah. And one of them is that when they came to Egypt, I had Aram Yevidavi Bayam Tzai Yisham Goda Otsumbara by Sena Mitzmayanunu by Itnu Aleinu Avodah Kasha. Vayara Hashem es Onyenu Vesamolenu Veslachatzeinu. So he says, Vayara Kim es Onyenu Vesamolenu. What's Amolenu? So it says the Baal Haggadah, Elo Abonim. These are our children. Now, why does Amolenu refer to our children? Because the idea is that even though maybe not consciously, but certainly subconsciously, our mind is always preoccupied with how our children are faring. Right? I'm just trying to give an example. Can't think of a good example. But anyway, that's the same idea. Amolen means that also our children this is what we are, that's what we're working for. That's what we are, we're giving of ourselves in order that our children, to educate our children, to provide for our children, etc. Okay, that's why it's called amal, right? Where laboring is not really necessarily a good translation. It's more occupying ourselves. Maybe that's the best word. I don't know. Anyway, that's what Omel is. So a person has to be Omel B'Torah means that he is preoccupied with learning Torah. Okay, let's see, go on to Pasuk Dalet, Meir.
Okay, Dalet. Okay, let's see. V'natati gishamechem.
Ishmeichem.
Gish mechem b'itam v'natna haaretz yivula v'etz hasadeh yiten piryo. Okay, and I will give you rain in its time. Their time, literally, I guess.
Right. Rains. It's a plural.
Right. Oh,
rains.
rains. Yeah, Yorel Makosh, right? Two different times of the year.
Right, it means the
Okay.
first rains and the latter rains.
Right. V'natna, and the land will give its produce, and the tree of the field will give its fruit. Okay. So Rashi has be'itam in their time. B'sha'ah she'ein derech b'nei adam latzeit kigon leilei Shabbatot. Okay, so at a time when it's not the way for man to go outside, Kigon, for example, on the nights of Shabbos. So what's that? I guess that's Friday nights.
Right.
Okay. And then let's see. It says ve'etz hasadeh, and the tree of the field. Hain ilanei sirak. Let's see. The atidin la'asot peirot. So it says, let's see, the fruit of the tree of the field says they are trees, sirak, I guess, that do not give fruit.
Right. It's like what do you call them? Coniferous.
Oh, I don't know.
The trees that not non-fruit bearing trees.
Right. Sort of, I guess, like it's literally fruit, right? I mean, it's not like nut trees or whatever. Or is that all types of
Right.
trees?
No. I mean, no, nut trees would not be included. Trees that do
Okay.
not produce any fruit, including nuts.
Oh, okay. Okay. And in the, let's see, in the future, they are
They will produce fruit.
they will produce fruit. Oh. Okay. Very good.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's go weiter. Yeah. Pasuk Hey.
He
Basically, we'll see in the Hemshech of the Psukim, the Maisa, if Klal Yisrael would keep exactly the Torah in its ideal way, as the Pasuk mentioned, then the world would revert to the idyllic situation that was before Adam Arishon sinned. And therefore the actual properties of the trees would change.
Ah.
That's why it says, Eitz HaSodeh Yitain period.
Mm-hmm.
And it's originally before Adam Arishon sinned, he ate from the Eitz Hadas. So there was this, what do you call it?
Good, how are you?
Paradisic existence. The world was in a state of paradise.
Oh.
That was in Gan Eden. And there was no such thing as non-fruit producing trees.
Uh-huh.
However, now that's what's going to be the Eitz HaSodeh, which after the sin of Adam Arishon, that he ate from the Eitz Hadas, and he got driven out from Gan Eden. So the standard of of creation dropped, and they now became trees that did not produce fruit anymore. But that is going to revert if the Jewish people serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu properly, then the world is going to return to its idyllic state that it was before Adam Rishon sinned. We're going to see more about this later, okay? Says Lou, Pasuk Hey. Hello?
Vatir Yasig es Zara Va'achaltem Lach Michem Lash Lish I'm sorry,
Sova,
La Sova Vi Shavtem La Vetach Be Artechem. So the threshing will overtake the vintage for you, and the vintage will last until the sowing. You will.
by the way, how did you say again? How did you translate the first part?
The threshing will overtake the vintage.
What does that mean? Will overtake.
It means that you'll have so much that you have to thresh that you'll still be threshing when it comes time to
Okay.
harvest the grapes.
Okay, yeah. I think the way I translated was a little bit more clearer. 1 second. Let's see. Yeah, okay. That's basically how Rashi explains it over here.
Okay. The vintage will last until the sowing. You will eat your bread to satiety, and you will dwell securely in your land. Rashi says, the Hisig Lechem Dayish Es Vatir Sheyehei Adayish Mirubeh, for the threshing will be plentiful. Vatem Asukim Bo, and you will be busy with it. Ad Ha Batir, until the vintage. Uvat Batir, and you will be busy with the vintage. Ad She As Hazara, until the time of the sowing.
Right. So I translate the pasuk. The threshing season will extend for you until the grape harvest, and the grape harvest will extend until the sowing season. Okay.
Okay. Ve'achal tem lach mechem la sova. Ochel kum'ah.
Kim'ah.
Kim'ah. He will eat a bit. V'hu misbarech b'mei av. And he will become blessed in his innards.
Yeah. He will eat a bit and would be blessed inside in his stomach. Means that there'll be you only need to eat a little bit of food and you'll already be satisfied. Okay? Yeah. Ishavtem lovetach ba'aretz. Well, safely, securely, you live securely in your land. Okay, let's do pasuk vav, Meir.
Okay, it says, "V'natati shalom ba'aretz u'shechavtem ve'ein macharid ve'hishbati chaya ra'ah min haaretz ve'cherev lo ta'avur bi'artzechem." Okay, so I will give you peace in the land that you dwell. And you will not have fear, I guess, not be fearful,
Ein machrid, yeah, you won't go be frightened.
frightened. Okay. Vihishbati.
Yeah, so actually it goes together. Ushchavtem ve'ein macharit. You will go to sleep and nothing with nothing frightening you.
Uh-huh.
You have sweet dreams. Okay. Vishbati chaya ra min haaretz.
That's wild
I will-
animals.
I will remove wild animals from the land.
Okay.
V'cherev lo yisavar ba'artzachem. And no sword, no agriculture, and no armed forces will pass through your land.
We'll pass through. Okay. Very nice. Okay. Okay, so Rashi, V'natati shalom, I will give you peace. Shema tomru, maybe perhaps it should say,
No, maybe
okay, hare ma'achal, here is food, hare mishteh, and here is drink. Im ein shalom,
if
ein
there's no
klum.
peace,
Right, if there's no peace, then there's nothing. Okay, Talmud Lomar, the pasuk says, Achar kol zot.
means after all this, meaning all the blessings for prosperity in food and drink, right?
Mhm.
You see, you're going to have a
Oh.
lot of grain, a lot of wine, okay?
Okay, and then it says, let's see, Natati shalom ba'aretz, I will give you peace.
Grant you peace, I will grant you peace in the land. So that's
Okay,
the, okay? Then
right.
everything is worthwhile. If you have peace in the land, then it'll be all the other blessings of prosperity will be worthwhile.
Mhm.
We
So-
can, from here we learn,
Okay, shalom shakul keneged hakol, that the peace shakul,
is of equal weight.
of equal weight to everything. Okay. V'chein hu omer oseh shalom uvarei et hakol. Oh, that's familiar. So he said, and so it says, he makes peace and creates all, everything. Okay. And let's see, v'cherev lo ta'avur b'artzechem, and the sword will not pass in your land. Ein tzarich lomar, does not have to say shelo yavo'u lemilchama, that there will not come a war. Ella, but okay, afilu la'avor derech artzechem. So even if they pass
Even to
through,
pass through the land.
and Medina,
Limedina, from one country to another.
oh,
Just imagine the Egyptians say, you know, we want to have we're doing a joint exercise with Syria. So they call up Netanyahu and said, do you mind if we have our army drive through the land so we can go and have our joint exercise with Syria?
oh.
Certainly, if they intend to attack Iraq or intend to attack Syria, right, then for sure that's even more of something which is a bit frightening for inhabitants of the land. But we're talking about even if it's somebody who's not an immediate, they intend to, the country that wants to lead its army through the land is not intending to wage war with an immediate neighbor of Eretz Yisrael, right? But rather a country farther away. Nevertheless, it's still being in should we say, an idyllic situation, not even to be reminded that there is such a concept of war. So that's the idea over here. Because otherwise, what's the big deal, you know? What's the difference between having an army going through your country or having watermelons being transported from, or dates being transported from Egypt to Syria? What difference does it make? It's nothing to do with me. The idea is that the person is, it's a certain sense of peace of mind that if he knows there's, you know, no such things as wars anymore, he's living happily in his land and doesn't even see any, how should I say the right word? Doesn't see any armed forces whatsoever. No semblance of armed forces. Okay. Well, obviously, it goes without saying that in the country itself, there will be no need for armed forces in the country in Eretz Israel itself. But even to have foreign armies passing through the country, that also will cease to exist. Okay. Let's go on to Pasuk Zayin. Blue.
Didn't I just read?
Yeah, Pasuk Zayin, yeah.
Ure daf tem es oivei.
Oh, by the way, I just wanted to point out another thing. Rashi doesn't say anything on this, but the Pasuk says, Vishpati chayo ro min haaretz. I will remove wild animals from your land. Okay? There's actually a machloikus in the Midrash that, according to one opinion, there will cease to be wild animals altogether.
Oh.
Why? This again continuing this concept, which I mentioned before. When Kosh Baruch Hu created the world, there was no such thing as wild animals, in respect that there were animals who were carnivorous. All animals were herbivorous. They only ate vegetables. And in fact, this mashma from the Pasuk in Parsha Beholukosai, where it mentions about creation on the sixth day, that Kosh Baruch Hu gave, Pasuk says, Kosh Baruch Hu gave the vegetables and the fruits of the tree for man to eat and for all the animals to eat. Mashma, there was no distinction, that all animals only ate vegetable produce. There was no such thing as birds of prey or animals, wild animals. That one animal would eat another animal. They call them predators. I think that's the right word. Okay? There was no such thing. Rather, it was only after Adam Arishan sinned, and man sinned it progressively worse or whatever till he got to the Mabul. But Lamaisa, only this concept of animal eating animal came into existence after the sin of Adam Arishan, and the whole standard of creation dropped. So again, here, another example that if Klal Yisrael keep the Torah properly in its proper way, then the world will return to its idyllic state before the sin of Adam Arishan. Okay? Let's see Pasuk Zayin. Rudaftem es oiveichem. Hello?
Ure daf tem es oiveichem. V'naflu lifneichem la cherev.
Chorev, right.
You will pursue your enemies and they will fall before you by the sword.
Right.
The Rashi says, Lifneichem lecharev. Ish becharev re'ehu. A man by the sword of his fellow.
So Rashi's saying is there'll be a bigger bracha. It means it won't be the Jewish soldiers who are killing the enemy. These enemies. The enemies will kill each other.
Wow.
And the Sifsei Chachamim points out, where do I get this from? Because if it meant that the Jewish soldiers would kill the enemy, would be killing the enemy, right? So why does he use explain? They will fall before you by the sword. It should say you will make your enemies fall. You will make them fall by the sword. That implies they will fall by themselves.
Oh.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. I think we'll end here. We'll pick up again by Pasuk Ches tomorrow, Be'ezrat Hashem. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope to see you tonight, Be'ezrat Hashem.
Mitz Hashem.
My daughter's wedding, Be'ezrat Hashem. Okay, if you can make it, I'll be very happy. Okay.
We'll do our
Seder.
best.
Thank you. Kultiv.
Okay. Yeah.